Bullet Hell on Steam? Well, it seems weird, but people are asking for it, so, well, they're like, hey, let's give them what they want. Seeming as Touhou is getting full-on ports onto the Steam platform, it makes sense to look at the Bullet Hell genre in general, so, without further ado, let's jump into some Bullet Hell. So let's kick things off nice and strong. Let's start off with a developer who really do know what they're doing in the Bullet Hell genre. Cave. Nobody knows Bullet Hell better than they do, that is for sure, and they make a good job of it. One of their best games is DoDonPachi. If you're new to Bullet Hell, this is the place where you should start. This is the best pivotal point in making yourself a gaming god. The premise is pretty simple. You literally blow up everything on the screen while dodging rain, in essence. There's no real story here, apart from maybe an old guy telling you that he's making a new robotic army and he's gonna, you know, wants to test it on you, so he risks your life, and that's really cool, I guess. And to even find this out, you have to play through the secret route in which you collect golden bees. Yeah, golden bees. I'm as confused as you are. But anyway, it doesn't matter because we're not here for the story, we're here to blow the fuck out of everything. And yes, this game is really satisfying in that aspect. You see, you don't even need to be a gaming god to enjoy this game. There's a nice novice mode which just allows you to play the game without having to dodge a million bullets on the screen. What the fuck? Which is why this game, in my opinion, is perfect for Bullet Hell beginners, because this game has a perfect balance of what's difficult and what's not. You're not thrown into relentless difficulty and bombarded with 100 different enemies. No, this game develops enemies as you progress, and that's perfect for a game which beginners can just jump in and play. The thing that I like the most about this game is that the bosses in the secret route are all the bosses from the original DoDonPachi game. Now that's cute. And to top it all off, the controls are nice, the visuals are nice. Oh, everything about this game is just spot on. They know how to make a good video game. These hats off to them. Golden stars, 10 out of 10, 69 out of 69. You know how it goes. Right, that's enough about DoDonPachi. On to their next game. So, what happens when you take the same developer as DoDonPachi and flip the screen 90 degrees to the right, sprinkle on a few gothic themes and a few witches, and this is the recipe for Deathsmiles. Now, just because it's made by the same developers and it's essentially the same genre, doesn't necessarily mean it's the same game, no. This one is actually quite different. Instead of the 3 ships you just get in DoDonPachi, you have 4 witches to choose from. 4 characters have different attack styles to fit your playstyle. Simple as that. Instead of the beta stage, you get rewarded with another stage kind of layout. This game lets you play the levels at your own pace. And while you're on the stage selection screen, you can also choose which rank you want to play the stage at, which determines difficulty. And unlike DoDonPachi, this game is slightly more story driven, with each character having their own little dialogue in the game. And in comparison with DoDonPachi, this game clearly has the better soundtrack. I mean, just listen to some of the tracks in this game. And to top it all off, the final boss theme is by Bach. The song itself is called Toccata and Fugue, but it's written in D minor. That's pretty cool. And the icing on the cake is the actual boss design itself. It is absolutely divine. You can really feel that you're fighting Satan, or Tyrannus Satan, or whatever it is called. And on the topic of bosses, some of the boss designs themselves are fucking frightening. take this lovely little face, for example. Just a charming sight. This game very obviously went for the horror theme, and it achieved it spectacularly. The visuals mixed with the haunting music just give me chills every single time I play through the game. So let's stop fanboying about Cave for a second and realize that there's more than just one bullet hell developer on the planet. So let's talk about a game made by a developer called Emad. The game in question is called Jigoku Kisetsukan Sense of the Season. What is it with this developer and unpronounceable things, okay? Can I... English? Essentially what this game is Touhou, but with a lot more different characters to play. The game itself plays almost identically to Touhou, in fact, a little bit too similar. The boss in stage 1 almost plays identically to Cerno from Embodiment of the Scarlet Devil. However, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. The controls in themselves are spot on. The music is also pretty nice too. The nice little chiptune 8-bit kind of music in the background, that's cute. I like that. And the visuals, even though it's kind of a bit too similar to Touhou again, they're pretty cool in themselves too. Unfortunately, there isn't that much to talk about this game, because what it is essentially is just a classic bullet hell shoot 'em up. There's no creative gimmicks thrown in, and although this game took the Deathsmiles approach with the different characters, different dialogue kind of thing, it doesn't affect the game too much, and make of that what you will. However, what impresses me about this game is the asking price for the game. It's free. This is a free game. And for a free game, this goes pretty far, because there aren't that many good free games out on the Steam market. So for that, this game's a winner in my heart. It's not a fantastic, definitive bullet hell shoot 'em up, but it isn't terrible. In fact, it's just the classic formula, and I think that's what makes it work the best. It doesn't take too many risks, and it doesn't go out of its way to be creative. Next! So, in this video, I've talked quite a bit about Touhou, but I haven't actually shown you in much of gameplay, and that's because there's only really one Touhou game on Steam. However, there are two Dojin games made by completely separate developers, and I would much prefer to talk about them because there is a lot more to talk about than just boring Touhou. So let's talk about Touhou Antinomy of Common Flowers, or more easily referable to 15.5. Now, I said I was going to talk about Dojin games, but this, by definition, really isn't. This game was developed in conjunction with Twilight Frontier and Zun, or more commonly known as Team Shanghai Alice. I'm just going to kick this off and say this game is freaking awesome right off the bat, because what this is a fighting game with your classic Touhou characters. However, there's a little twist. The fights you encounter in story mode play almost exactly how a boss would play in the actual Touhou games. And for people who don't know how a Touhou boss would usually play, basically Touhou bosses have a few stages in which they shoot different patterns at you. But in 15.5, you start off with a normal fight, and then they would unleash a spell card against you in which you have to break their shield and do damage over time. But this is where the game now begins to fall a bit flat. You see, because when you've played one of the storylines, you've basically played them all. The teams that you fight against may change, but their patterns remain exactly the same. But on the other hand, the story is interesting enough. To put it in bite-sized form, there is a strange phenomenon called perfect possession. A phenomenon where one is taken over by a completely different person, not only in mind, but also in body. And while the Shrine Maiden Hakare Reimu is trying to get to the bottom of this, the other characters are trying to further their fighting ability by using others with weaker minds to their advantage. So let's talk about the actual gameplay itself. And it's pretty fucking cool. Because of this perfect possession, you can play as a different character to mix up your fighting style for a limited amount of time. Each character has their own spell cards and what's referred to as a last word, or what you would normally call a finishing move. With all this going on, you can really trip up your opponents. The game feel is really slick, the visuals are absolutely awesome, and the complementing music to go with it, it's very good. My only problem with the game, and I'm really fucking salty about, is there's absolutely no fucking Flanders Scarlet. What are you doing? She should be in the game. What's this? She's best. Hello. It's like, oh my god, son, get it together. You forget best character in all of your franchise in your video game, and it's just no. Bit of a outrage there, I apologize. 15.5, it's an absolutely fantastic game. Yeah. Next! Right, for our last game. This is gonna be a good one, I think. I don't know. Depends. This is basically the Dojin game that I was mentioning. This is called Touhou Project, The Disappearing of Gensokyo. Now, initially, I was going to show the whole trailer in full because it made the game look really good, but I'm only going to show you a quick portion of it, because it had caught my attention. Now, I caught this with the corner of my eye because I have, like, this amazing frame-perfect precision in the way I just watch videos, you know how it is. And I would just like to point out, who is that? Who actually is that? I don't know. Wait a second, hold the fucking phone. I know what that is. I know who this is. I know who she is. I think the hat kind of gives it. Is it the flannel? Oh wait, no. Is that their design? Is that their design for Romelia Scarlet? Okay. You had every character. Okay, yeah, bye.
Hey guys, it's Comedy Shorts Gaming here!
I want to die. This last review thing is going to be a little bit of a shorter one. I do apologize, but basically, this game has no English translation, and I'm not that good at Japanese. I may be a weeb, but I don't know my Japanese like the back of my hand. Basically, something's going down in Gensokyo, I don't know. They kind of like... I remember reading this article where the developers of this game said that this game is not heavily story-driven, so it doesn't matter. Despite the fact that it's an action RPG! And to my knowledge, RPG games are supposed to be, you know, they're supposed to have quite a lot of story. In fact, the story should be the main point of the game. Now, it's an action RPG, so it's a bit like, Diablo. So seeming as this game is, not story-driven, I'm just gonna focus on the gameplay, because that's what they're pushing forward, is, you know, the game that's easily accessible by Touhou beginners. And to their credit, they haven't done a bad job. Now, for me personally, I'm a person about fast-paced action, and this game, in my opinion, isn't that fast. If anything, it's a bit slow and clunky, but the controls, they work. And the different attack varieties from the different characters, they work too, so what the hell? And as is the common thing with these games that I've talked about, the visuals are nice, and the music, because it's Touhou, is fucking cool as well. So, you know, that just sums it up. Anyway, to be fair, not much can be said about this game, so I'm just gonna state that one thing that bothers me about this game, and that is that penguins, what the fuck? Why, they're an enemy in the game. I don't understand. What? Penguins? Hello? Get out of here with your penguin ass looking ass. Fucking shit. You know what? I'm just gonna end the video there. I'm fucking done. I've seen some weird shit today. So, goodbye.